Here we are, session 51. You just saw a picture of Ganesh in Hindu. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles, and as the story goes, he was protecting his mother while she was taking a shower, and the father showed up and had never met his son before, and the son said, "You cannot enter this area where my mother is." And the father, not knowing that was his son, and the son not knowing that was his father, stood fast at each other and started to do battle. Well, the father, as the myth goes, cut off the son's head, and the head fell off of his son. The wife came out and said, "We have to get him a new head." And they could not find a human head to give him, so they gave him an elephant head. Anyway, a little tidbit there. This is session 52. Whoa. Who would have thought? Okay, I'm going to read this one off for you, okay? The only way you get pleasure from material world is from the illusion. The illusion's job is to give you just enough pleasure to distract you away from God. Whoa, heavy. Say it again. Do you mind? Hope not. The only way you get pleasure from the material world is from the illusion. The illusion's job is to give you just enough pleasure to distract you away from God. Interesting. Oh, the eagle's a little dirty clown, is it not? Still knocking at your door? Mine is too. As I've said in the past, you have to see, or you can, if you want to, look at it as an illusion. The third dimension. For if you really put stake in it and think it's the highest reality, wouldn't you ask God, why did you do this? Right? Well, God would make things so mean and warlike and everything else. Remember, this is the planet of free will. You get to do what you want, but there are consequences. There are consequences of how to think, how to be, how to do. You can get away with a lot, at least you think you do. But eventually, you have to dissolve, I should say, all that old negative information that you learned. So it's no longer a huge boulder with all the other boulders in your backpack while you're going up a steep hill. Throw a couple of those boulders out. Lighten your load. And is material pleasure going to do this? Well, you can say it does. And you can hope other people think you're great because you have more material objects. Or that it may boost however you think. There's no judgment towards that. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's just, is it the real truth or a higher truth at all? So if you search yourself, you may giggle inside to see, wow, I place so much importance on material objects. But what about the rest? The mental, the emotional. I'm not getting emotional. I just got something clogged in my throat. The physical and the spiritual. Work on all four levels, as I can hear another howler monkey in the background, along with the cicadas. What I want to say now, just as I want to start speaking, the cicadas get louder. Classic. What I want to say now is the illusion's job is to give you just enough pleasure to distract you away from God. And let's put it in simple terms. the illusion? Might that have to do with the ego and how it thinks? Now we've learned how to separate them, separate it out. Be in your higher state of consciousness, not your lower ego mind. That's the conversation for today. I hope it helped. If it didn't, no biggie. It helped me to talk about it, to refresh my memory. Thanks for listening. Cheers, Kip.